Hi, I'm Tamara Squires. Each of us has a story of what helped make us into who and what we are. My story began at age 12 when I decided to follow my dreams. Along my way, I found something unique, something inspiring, something really worth sharing. And so I've been sharing it ever since. The following video is the story of what I found. If while you listen to my story, you resonate or connect with any part of it, I invite you to take what good you can from it and pass it on. I have one goal in sharing these deeply personal events, and that goal is hope. The hope that if even one person can be inspired or make a positive change, then it will have been worth it. I hope you take the time to listen to it. My story is only the beginning. Your story is what continues this.
Came out of the womb dancing. My mom had a dance studio, and I just remember being about 2 years old, looking at the door through the studio, seeing these students, these performers, and going, that's what I want to do. I couldn't wait to get started, so I started dancing 2 and 3 years old. I was doing impromptu dance lessons to the neighborhood kids. My play dates turned into dance lessons. By 4th grade, I remember convincing my 4th grade teacher, hey, during lunch, can I use your classroom and charge 25 cents to have these kids come and take class? It was just great. I loved to teach. While I was still in elementary, at age 12, I actually started to teach at a dance studio and have official classes. And it was around that same time that I booked my first job. And that was a TV pilot for Kids Incorporated, and what a blast.
It's Kids Incorporated, the hottest new rock and roll show on television.
I mean, I'm singing, I'm dancing, I'm on TV.
We've got something that is new, that is true. We got something
during that time, even though I was really young, I know that inside I created this core belief that I was going to do what I love. And that was such a driving force for my entire life.
She had a spark and a love for dance that was like way beyond anyone else in the class.
When she had something she wanted to do, she pursued it until it was finished.
She had a ton of passion, and she just had it. I mean, I knew that if she wanted to be a dancer, which she did, I knew she was going to be, it was just a done deal. I knew she was going to be a success. She had everything that she needed. She had the entire package.
I realized that I loved teaching as much as performing. Teaching was so important to me. By 15, I was in junior high, and I got this amazing opportunity to teach master classes at a prominent university. It is just lining up here. It's been great. Now I'm going to come back, go to high school, and I want to do everything I possibly can in my high school years. I am active and involved. I am going to do, of course, dance and drill, but with that, I also tried track and drama and band. And I was senior class president. I just loved it. I was very involved. And at the same time, I realized I was just eating intuitively. I was listening to my body. I was really in sync with my body. And it was a great time in my life. I was really driven, and I was ready to live my dream. So, packed my bags, I'm 18, and I am heading to LA. I'm gonna live my dream, I'm gonna become a professional dancer. And I get there, I'm financially on my own. I'm gonna do this, sink or swim. And I'm there, I'm training, I'm dancing 6 to 8 hours a day. It is hard, I am training like a professional athlete. But I tell you, I am loving every second of it. I am living my dream. It's at this time that I'm gonna have an idea, a little idea, that will drastically change my life. I say to myself, why don't I go on a diet? And really when I start looking around, everyone else in LA is on a diet. Why not? The problem is, my idea of a diet is I'm going to starve myself, deny and remove calories. That's the only way I know to diet. You take away calories. And that's what I start doing. I have no knowledge that, removing these calories and removing the nutrients that I need to be able to dance and live the way I should be is going to affect me so drastically. And since it's not working, I start to gain weight. This doesn't make sense. I am dancing all day, I'm not eating, and I start to gain. And the worst part is, I just don't even understand why. I think I must be doing something wrong, and I'm sure that since I'm not eating, I must need to work out more. It was so frustrating. I didn't get advice on what to do. I just started doing more cardio, and it wasn't working. No food and all the hours of workout were not causing me to lose weight. It had caused me to gain.
Then there was a point where Tamara was calling me and I could tell something was up, but I wasn't sure what it was. And she was going to come home and do a workshop for her mom, and I was there. So when she came home, I could see that I knew exactly when I saw her because she had gained weight.
It was very difficult for me to watch her go through her struggles. And the first one I remember was when she came back after she'd moved to LA. And she was having so much fun down there and working so hard. She came back to perform in a recital for us. At the end of the spring, she'd been down there since the fall. And she weighed more than I'd ever seen her before. She'd never had a problem with her weight. And it just broke my heart.
She'd never had put on weight, so I knew that it had really shaken her to her core.
I was no longer this happy person with a great self-image. That was all changing. I now spent my days at the studio in front of that mirror, comparing myself to others. And I was obsessing about how this looked, this arm, this leg, this body. Because I started to hate everything about my body. And I was obsessing about food. And when could I eat? That's all I was thinking about. And that changed me as a person. I was no longer happy. I mean, remember, since I've been 2, I have wanted this dream. And I'm no longer enjoying it. I'm going through the motions, day by day. Yet something happens. One morning, just something's different. It's something about my mindset. And I wake up and my state of mind is positive. It starts off that way. I just feel good. I feel better. And who knows why? I put on the right outfit. I was wearing the right thing. Everything seemed to be going well. And it was really about how I woke up. Starting off the day, led the rest of the day. I go take class, it seems like a wonderful day, I'm able to do the things that I need to in class, and it just feels good. And what happens 24 hours later is what's interesting. The very next day, I don't start off very well. In fact, I'm very negative, but it starts that way. I'm negative to begin with, out of bed, it's already there. And I don't put on the right thing. Nothing is the right thing. When I get to the class, nothing is right. Doesn't matter what I do. And when I see myself in the mirror, I look heavier than I did 24 hours before. It was as if I'd put on a fat suit. I mean, it was incredible. Is that possible? That you could look heavier than you actually are? And so everything felt wrong. I looked wrong. But here's the light bulb moment. Suddenly, as I'm looking in the mirror, I realize this is impossible. How could I have gained that much weight from 24 hours ago? That's actually impossible. So how is this happening? How is this happening? I remember this moment so clearly because I thought, I'm doing this. I am doing this. Something up here in my mind is doing this. I don't know how that all comes together for me. No one's talking to me about this, but it feels right. It feels like that's the combination that's not happening, that I've changed. I've become a different person and I'm living in the negative state. I need to figure out how to get back to that old me. And so that's what I do. I start thinking, all right, all these negative thoughts that I'm having, and there's a million of them, you know, I have plenty of times to try this out. When I have a negative thought, I'm simply going to flip it and change it to a positive. I'm gonna just say the exact opposite. Doesn't even matter if I believe it. You know, I say, just fake it till it comes together there. Just try it, and that's all I'm gonna do. And it was that simple change. Anytime I see myself in the mirror, I automatically go to the negative. I see myself and I start to say, you look so horrible, and I'd stop it. I wasn't gonna finish that horrible thought. Instead of suppressing it, I was just gonna flip it and I'd say, you look fabulous, looking good, you know? I know, it sounds totally hilarious because it was hilarious. And I had a good time with it because I just took it lightly and just decided what I was doing was not working. It was time to try something new. And this was what I was gonna do. It actually works. When I started to get positive and start thinking better thoughts about myself, I started to look different, I started to act different, and I started to love this again. I started to love what I was doing. My passion was back, and guess what else? The weight came off. Because when I started to love everything about this body, it started to work. Because you treat yourself so much better when you're coming from a loving space. How do you treat something you love? How do you treat something you hate? You know, think about that. That's how it worked for me. And once I started loving the things about me, I started to see that work and change. What I learned from this experience was the power of vision. I mean, if negative thoughts were getting me negative results, why couldn't I focus on having positive thoughts and have positive results? And that's exactly what happened. I mean, when I combined this power of vision with this key component of passion that I already had, I mean, I got results. And when I started to see that and do that, that's when my life got better. I mean, that's when everything started to fall into place.
She hit it. She got great jobs in Los Angeles. She'd audition, she'd call me, she'd get it. And she'd get audition, she'd call me, she'd get it.
Now I started booking jobs and I was traveling the world. I'm booking TV and film. I'm doing the Academy Awards. I was the assistant choreographer for Michael Jackson's production of Sisterella. And it's just all coming together. I'm happy, my state of mind, self-image, and as others around me started to see this positive change happen, you know, they started to say, what are you doing? You know, and asking for advice. I mean, it was so joyful to experience this change in me and then be able to pass it on to others. That's when I knew I had something. There was something about this vision and passion, but I realized that I didn't quite have all the pieces of that puzzle together yet.
I've known Tamara since we were both little kids, and from day one she was just always this energetic, smiling, vivacious person, and she was always just driven. You knew she was going to be a dancer, there was no question about it. And so when I saw her in that element up front in front of a classroom, she was in her power. You could tell she was happy, that's where she belonged, and that was just really appealing to me.
Life is going well. I get married, I start my own business, and I start traveling the world. My husband and I are working together and traveling together. Life is good. You know, and it's about this time that we are working out at the gym and we see a trainer there. And we see this trainer is getting really good results with people. And we decide, why not? Why don't we try it?
We tracked every single calorie. Everything I ate went into a measuring cup before I ate it, went onto a scale before I ate it.
We got some knowledge about our food intake, the nutrition, and it really allowed us an opportunity to change our body. We did see results. What's unfortunate is during that time of doing that same type of tracking, it created a core belief in me that the only way to have results is if you do it to perfection. However, those results were not maintainable. I mean, we were chopping vegetables to no end. I mean, we lived our day because it was only the two of us. We didn't have a family. We could do it that way. We spent so many hours preparing meals.
I realized that that was going to be a tough lifestyle to maintain without that trainer pushing us to those extremes.
I was about to find out that it took more than knowledge, that it was really needing a balance of vision and passion and knowledge for the results to be lasting. So it was at this time that my husband and I decided to start a family. I was in great shape, I was ready to go, I thought it would be easy, but unfortunately that was not going to be the case for us. We were going to have many troubles, and I had miscarriages, and I felt that this was just wreaking havoc. Being pregnant so many times, it was wreaking havoc on my body, mentally, physically, hormonally. I felt out of control. I didn't feel like any of the tools I had could help make this process be better. And when I did finally get pregnant and things were moving along, that was great, you know, and I gained weight. You know, there's those people who are really fit and you don't even know they're pregnant, right? They're walking down the street, you see them from the back and you have no clue they're pregnant, you know, and they just turn sideways and they have this little basketball, you know, right there, and it's like, oh, you're pregnant. No, that was not me. You know, with me, you knew I was pregnant, coming, going, sideways, whatever angle you saw me at, you know, you knew that that was the case for me. And here's something that I know worked for me is I was so happy to have this baby here, but I was also really confident that I could lose all the weight. I didn't get caught up in all the drama of that. The negativity of that was not an issue. It took time, slowly but surely, but it did come off. I got in great shape again because I believed it was possible. I even shot some of my dancer body DVDs at that time, and it was great. Then I went on to try again and had more miscarriages, but then I did get that second baby boy here. So happy. And now he's here and I go through the same thing. I gain all this weight, and unfortunately with both pregnancies I also have bed rest and other things to deal with. And to tell you a little bit about my mindset, I'm doing good. I think I am going to do exactly the same thing. I'm so confident that I'm going to lose this weight that I actually am out shopping for my big old, you know, after pregnancy jeans, and I noticed there's some on sale, some pants on sale that I am definitely going to get into that size. I might as well buy those right now too. You know, I'm going to get the big size because I need those right after the pregnancy. But I'm so confident that I'm going to get back to that great size, my ideal body, that I'm going to buy those. And not only am I going to buy one pair, I'm so confident I'm going to buy two. And I buy them and I put them away in my closet. And I live my life. I've got these kids here and I'm thinking this is all going to come off. But this time it's different. Because this time it's not coming off. I don't understand why. And I'm going along with it. But now it's 6 months, and 12 months, and 18 months. Why isn't this coming off? I think I know how to eat, I know how to work out. What's missing? And it's at this time that I'm going into that closet and I see those pants that I bought on sale and I was for sure gonna get back into. I try them on and I can barely get them on. And the thoughts that are going through my head at that time are, how stupid. You idiot. How could you ever have believed it would be possible for you to get back to this size? And after that moment, what did I do? I put my smile back on and I walk out the door. I'm not saying these thoughts to anybody else. That's my inner dialogue. That's what's going on in my head. I'm not saying those thoughts to my husband, to my friends, to my students for sure. Because I'm supposed to be out here teaching dance and fitness and looking great. But I am living a sham. I stopped believing that it was possible. I hated everything I saw in the mirror. I hated shopping. I didn't want to buy new clothes. I didn't want to be around people. I changed again.
It was very difficult, especially after her second little boy was born, because she just had a very difficult time getting back to where she wanted to be weight-wise. And I felt for her because I knew her pain. I knew exactly what she was going through and how hard it was for her.
I'd given up. I thought, this is just me. It's age, you have a family, what are you thinking? You know, just accept it. This is your new body. You should just live with it. I started going through the motions. I'm teaching my class, I'm doing my dance and my fitness.
She'd always been this smiling, happy person. It's what I associate with her, and people who know her associate with her, is just this smiling, happy personality. So to see that get taken away or get lost was extremely difficult to watch.
But one day, I'm in my class again, I'm teaching, and I'm in the back of the room, and I look from the far corner and I see myself in the mirror. Must have been on the right angle, right lighting, whatever it was. I caught a glimpse of myself and I saw the real me. I was in there. I was so excited. I'm really in there. I'd forgotten. I have gone back to the internal dialogue of being negative. I have lost that. I have lost the ability to see the positive, to see what I am loving about this body. It was crystal clear, because the moment I figured it out, that I was doing it again, I mean, it was instantaneous. I started doing the same thing, flipping those thoughts, and the weight started to come off. I tracked it every week. After that moment, it came off. Slowly but surely, a couple pounds a week, but it came off. What had I changed? Why is this happening to me again? I mean, I had this down, right? I learned this back in LA, vision, flip a negative to a positive, and it works. Why wasn't it permanent? Well, I had to figure out something. I figured out, not only for myself, but for many others that I've helped through this process, that there actually has to be a transition. You have to get beyond saying it to believing it. And that is where you get that permanent results. I, at first, was only saying it. Fake it till you make it. Just try, change that thought. But there comes a point where you actually move beyond that and believe it's possible. So now I'm looking back over this time frame and I'm seeing, what have I learned? How can I make this permanent? And the realization is, I had the passion. I've always had the passion. I have the drive. I want this. I had to learn vision. I had to learn how that applying vision, positive to negative, and seeing as if it's already happened. And then I needed knowledge. I needed concrete tools. I learned that working with a trainer and experiencing, tracking, and using those for results. But it takes a balance of all three of those keys: vision, passion, knowledge, to have lasting results. How do you get lasting results? You get that with a positive mindset. I call that start with happy. You have these three keys. You got vision, passion, knowledge. But what is the glue to make that work? Well, it's positive mindset. You need that to have lasting results with those keys.
As she started to kind of figure it out for herself, and put all the pieces in place to really get herself back to where she was, mentally, physically. And then she started to share these concepts with people and take them out and develop it into a program. Then the lights just really went on because she's all about teaching. So as soon as she's able to share it with people, then it just accelerated the results with her, and she was able to translate those to results for her clients.
Well, the thing that's so wonderful about her getting a handle on it is she's making it possible for other people to get a handle on it too.
I have watched her figure these things out for herself. And the thing that I love about what she's done is she has taken what she has learned and given it to other people.
It's all about the way you're thinking and what you're saying to yourself and all the self-talk. Stand up and exercise is not just what you have to do. You have to start with the way you think and the way you talk to yourself. And it has to be positive.
What Tamara does is she really helps you believe in yourself, and she helps you flip that negative mindset into that positive mindset, and helps you gain that trust back with your body. And once you figure that out, it is such an amazing feeling.
I mean, there's many programs out there that, there's the 12-week, and there's the 30-day, and there's the 60-day. However long those are, they're saying, start this program, and then you'll be happy with the results. That's not what it's about. I have learned you start with happy, and then you get the results that you've been looking for. And not only do you get results, it's long lasting. It's all about before and after pictures, yeah? I hope that this type of program gives people the opportunity to have a before and ever after. My goal, giving you this story, sharing this with you, which is very emotional and hard for me to share. I know that someone out there may relate, and they may realize that's my story too. And if it is, if I can help one person see that they could just start with happy, that they, instead of focusing on all the hard stuff, and it's hard to change our body, it takes time, right? We got to change this body. I'm asking you to do something that you can do right now in an instant. Change your thought. Start with happy. And like I said, if even just one person who hears my story achieves long-lasting results, just like myself and others, using Start With Happy, vision, passion, knowledge, it makes everything that I've learned all worth it.